Flirties, here we are again for another flirtini, the ninth in an experiment here on flirtations. It has no end in sight. Many more flirtinis coming, as today we're going to be talking about intuition versus anxiety. What each of these are and how you can know the difference. All right, let's start with a collective moment of grounding, taking a deep breath through the nose, filling up, getting really full through the lungs, feeling your collarbone rise, and exhale through the mouth, relaxing the shoulders, the jaw, the brow, settling in here to this flirtini. And I also have, surprise, a special treat for you up on FlirtTube. That's YouTube, a meditation all about cultivating, really connecting to your intuition. The meditation will be here in the flirtini. So you don't need to go anywhere, but if you would prefer the video, yes, that is available on FlirtTube. Okay, let us talk about now what is anxiety and how can you differentiate that from intuition? Because I know when you're out there dating and just living life, oftentimes these experiences are going to become very blurred. And certainly you can experience anxiety and intuition at the same time. So, how can you start to untease what is an anxious response if you have anxious attachment, something like that, a moment of panic, even from, what is my gut telling me? What is my intuition, right? That inner knowing telling me? And how can I listen to it and trust myself more? Okay. Anxiety, I like to describe as often a reaction to something happening in our lives that is really rooted in fear based on something that has happened to us in our past or a worry, some type of attachment concern we have to what is going to happen in the future. So, as an example, let's say you reach out, you're starting to talk to somebody, you text them, and they don't text back right away. Maybe they're taking a few hours, whereas before they were texting back instantly, right? They were being very quick with their communication. Now you're starting to feel anxious. Oh my gosh, what is wrong? This happened to me in the past with someone else I was dating, someone else I was talking to or seeing. And yeah, now you're thinking the worst. It didn't work out that time. It's not going to work out this time. Oh my gosh, you're jumping into the future now. What could possibly be wrong? Are they seeing someone else? Are they on another date, right? Why are they ignoring me? Here you go, kind of spiraling in this space of anxiety. Your anxiety really rooted in fear that something is wrong, that something is amiss based on what has happened to you in the past, or you're starting to future project, yes, and determine, okay, now your mind is searching for answers. Your analytical mind is taking over, looking for what is wrong. Let me problem solve. Let me find a solution so I can work my way out of this feeling of anxiety. So it is often a reaction to something happening in your life, and it comes with this kind of urgency, right? Where maybe you were totally okay going about your day, your work day, right? You're hanging out with friends, and then you send this text, you don't get the response back right away and you were good before, and now it's, oh my God, what is wrong? What's happening? Anxiety often comes with a lot of course, physical sensations in the body. You may start to feel warm, you're sweating, your stomach hurts, your heart's racing, you're feeling tense. You got to, maybe you're kind of, if you've heard of flight, fright, freeze, and even the fawn response. So where is your nervous system going when it starts to go into overdrive and into overwhelm? Do you feel like you can't move yet internally you're just sort of going on overdrive? Do you feel like you need to run away, like you needed to reach out and text back and double text and what's happening? You need to reach out to a friend, a family member, something like that, talk through it immediately, right? Going into that kind of fright response. So there's two examples of freeze and fright, or flight rather. Yeah, flight. The fright response, just going into every single thing that can possibly be wrong, very much scaring, frightening yourself that the end is near, right? It's just all doom and gloom. And finally, the fawn response, where maybe you need to reach out and just start to apologize, or they do come back, right? Nothing was wrong. Nothing was wrong. Everything was good. And you're just constantly like, oh my gosh, you're trying to make it up as if you did something wrong, really going into people pleasing. Yes, in an extreme way. So that would be the fawn, the appease response. So when it comes to how you physically respond to anxiety, you've got fright, flight, freeze, and fawn, and oftentimes your nervous system will go into one of those. You sort of have one dominant way that you like to, not like to, but typically respond to anxiety, and all of the physical manifestations are accompanying you in that process. So, how does your nervous system respond? Anxiety really being rooted in this hyperactivity of the nervous system, this reaction to something that happens externally, because now, oh my gosh, going into the past, going into the future, what is wrong? Also, with anxiety, and I know you may relate to this, anxious flirties. What if, right? What if you're really having a lot of intrusive thoughts, repetitive thoughts that just go into the realm of catastrophe, of extreme negativity, and you just can't seem to get yourself out of these thought loops. Yeah, it's hard to just think with clarity. It's hard to get a clear direction on how to move forward, on what do you need, right? Really being able to reassure, validate yourself. Don't forget you in all of this. What do you need to really feel calm in this moment, to ground yourself, right? To tell yourself that it's going to be okay, so you don't go into this, extreme reaction that is anxiety. And I say extreme because we all experience anxiety. And if you are someone that is in a chronic state of stress right now, a chronic state of anxiety, you're like, Benjamin, I feel anxiety all the time. It's I get it. I get it. I hope this episode will at least be, this flirtini will at least be a little bit helpful in helping you understand, just bring some awareness to your anxious responses and why you may be doing that, and understand your anxiety a little bit more. Yeah. So in the space of anxiety, very hard to just think clearly. You're having a lot of emotions that can feel very strong as well. And it's just, yeah, all of this is taking you away from the essence of connection, right? Going back to this example of maybe they were really good about communicating, and now all of a sudden it seems like they're pulling back, or they didn't text back for 2 hours one time, or they were really quick before. A very general example I think many of us can relate to out there dating, but just beginning to help you understand how anxiety happens. And of course, there's all sorts of chemical things, of reactions happening in the body with our neurotransmitters, with our hormones. Our adrenal glands are now starting to pump out tons and tons of cortisol to help us respond to the anxiety, to respond to the stress. And our bodies are just trying to help us. They are, but they haven't exactly evolved at the pace in which we experience the intensity in which we experience life these days. Yeah, so even though our body is helping us to adapt to the stress, to the anxiety, with the fright, flight, freeze, fawn, right? With our adrenal glands, just with the way our biology is trying to bring some normalcy, bring some balance to our nervous system. It doesn't always work in our favor, but this is when you go. This is why so many coaches, practitioners, therapists, right? Creators talk about self-care practices, about grounding practices, about practicing self-compassion, doing the warm bath with Epsom salts, and the teas, and the going for a walk, and the exercise, and the deep breathing, and I'm going to say it, the yoga, because all of these are ways to bring some balance, some semblance of normalcy to what is a very, gosh, externally driven way of life that we all have, where we're all experiencing to some extent anxiety on a regular basis. So, how can we bring ourselves back to homeostasis so we can think more clearly and more reliably and authentically connect with our intuition? Yeah. Okay. So that was really, yes, a spiel on anxiety. Now, how about this intuition thing? Intuition is more steady. Intuition is more of a calm. Intuition is more consistent. Intuition is those thoughts and feelings that arise in the space between the anxiety, right? And the moments of stillness when you're on your drive to work or you're commuting to work on the subway or train, you're at the gym, right? You're starting to fall asleep at night or you're waking up in the morning, you're just sort of daydreaming, not completely detaching from reality, but more so going inward and connecting to yourself. What are you feeling? What are you thinking? And what are some of these feelings, sensations, thoughts that are somewhat subtle, but sort of nudge at you, right? The ones, the thoughts, the feelings that aren't reactions. So you didn't get the text back, oh my gosh, I have to leave them. Oh my gosh, something is wrong. Oh my gosh, they're seeing someone else. Versus, coming back to yourself, bringing some homeostasis back, some balance back to your anxiety, calming yourself down. And then what are those thoughts and feelings you're having that are more connected to you, that really derive from being in alignment with how you're showing up in the world and how you're living your life. Intuition is also not really searching for answers. You're not necessarily asking yourself questions, right? But more so, what do I need? Intuition is really rooted in the present moment. Really, yes, being able to be with yourself. What is right for me? How am I showing up? Am I asserting my boundaries? Right? Am I really living in a way, dating in a way that is in alignment with my wants, needs, desires, dreams, all of my dating goals? Am I showing up in a way that's authentic? Am I advocating for myself? Right? And so this is a part of intuition helping you get some clarity around your actions and just in many ways being a practice of self-reflection. Intuition is also about sensing. So maybe like anxiety, it happens suddenly, where in a moment, in a flash, you have this intuitive thought, this intuitive feeling, this intuitive knowing that, I need to do XYZ thing, or something isn't quite right, or something is askew here, the way they're acting, the way they're behaving, something is causing some pause within your life, in your relationships, perhaps, and maybe that comes suddenly. But unlike anxiety, you don't feel the need to react out of fear. You don't feel the need to change or try and control the situation, try and now engineer a specific outcome. Rather, with intuition, you can be with this sense of calm, allow your intuition to be this sense of clarity, this feeling of okay, I think I know what I need to do. Maybe I need to think about this a little bit, not ruminate, but just, how do I feel about this? What do I think about this feeling, this thought I'm having? And you're able to be with it without reacting, without judging it, right? If you feel like going back to the anxiety piece, you're moving, reacting out of fear, that's probably anxiety. If you're able to, yes, be with yourself, pause, take a breath, and then decide what your next move is, what your next decision is, in whatever, right? Your relationships, your dating life, or something else, some other area of your life, that is more, yes, most likely your intuition coming in to play. So, starting to wrap up this flirtini, before you go to the meditation, all about connecting to your intuition, really cultivating confidence, right? Really being able to trust yourself. This is a big part of this process that I hear from you all the time, where you are perhaps able to differentiate your anxiety from your intuition. But then when it comes to trusting yourself, can you do that? Can you really validate and reassure yourself that you know what's best for you? You know what you need, that you're the creator of your life. And maybe you also believe in a higher power, another creator that you can lean on for divine assistance, for guidance, for help, right? Fantastic. Fantastic. You also have so much autonomy and control within yourself, your own being, your personhood, and within your actions and behaviors to also manifest, create, design the life that you are wanting to live. It really does all start with you and your beliefs and your actions and being able to align the two and trust yourself. So I hope this was a helpful flirtini in distinguishing anxiety from intuition. Yes, what each of these are, how they show up in our dating lives and beyond, and then how to sort out the difference, right? Am I having an anxious moment? Is this a moment of intuition? What is the difference between the two? And where do I go from here? Yeah. Where do you go from here? You're going to do the meditation. Okay, that is coming up next. Of course, you can listen to it here, wherever you are, right on this platform. Of course, you can listen to it right here, whatever platform you may be streaming on. Yes, the meditation coming up next. If you prefer to go on over to FlirtTube, that's YouTube, and watch it there, where I've got a little bit. Yes, I'm actually going to put you in a supported reclined butterfly for this meditation, just to help you open up through the heart and your third chakra, right? Your center of intuition a little bit more. Only optional. You can absolutely do that meditation here. All right, that's coming up. And then the flirtini is just going to end. Yes, flirty, it's just going to end. So once once you've done the meditation, you can go on about your day, your evening, and your life. And I thank you again for being here. Yes.